Hey, this is you know what? You know how big this week is?
Nope.
Okay, I've got something special to tell you that I don't think you know.
That terrifies me.
And I have a new title for you.
Do I need a new title?
You need this one. And I think I got some hair sticking up. Mom's not going to be happy about that.
No, she won't.
Is some hair sticking up?
You got to fix that during the title sequence.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Mom's going to yell at you.
Welcome back to Talking Story. Hey, my name is John Minton. Welcome to the channel. That right there is my literary wingman, the best producer on BookTube, The Example.
What?
Yes, sir, The Example. I'm going to clarify that in a little bit, but if that's not enough titles for you, say hello and throw some more out there.
Hello, my name is Jacob. That's about all the other ones I need. What am I setting an example for?
The example, man. The example. Look, it hit me this week. There's, I fell into a trap. There's some things happening, and you can start looking at stuff out in the world, and it can start you can start falling down that rabbit hole, and it can affect your day. And that's not what we're about here on the channel. We're about talking about art and story and how it can impact you and make your world a better place and bring some light and some joy into your world. And you, my friend, I know for a fact, are having that charge, that moment when lightning goes right through you and you pick up a book that you can't put down. You discover a new writer. You discover a new storyteller that just blows your mind and makes your life and world better. You're having that moment this week, and that's why I think I'm calling you The Example.
I will happily bear that title this week. That is exactly what's happening. Well, now we're getting straight into what I read this week. Are we? I
love getting straight into it because you know what? I got, like I say, I fell into some traps this week. Got a little bit off the beaten path, and really? You, my friend, an example, pulling me back to it, pulling me back to what's important, why we come together, what we love to talk about. Hit us up with it, man. What is happening?
Wow, well, that sounds like it had an interesting effect on what you read this week, so I'm excited to get into that. But I don't really have the title page here. Just got a regular Amazon ad because it's a Kindle. I picked up the Arc of the Devils that Griftkin was so kind to send my way. I don't know what strings he pulled to make that happen. This is the new book coming out by Joe Abercrombie next month.
I never read Joe Abercrombie.
Never read Joe Abercrombie. I have not read any of the First Law stuff or any of that. You love it and recommended it to me many times off camera and said this would be your jam. And I just haven't picked it up. So this is my first introduction to Joe Abercrombie. I guess for those that don't know, this is kind of his foray into, I guess, dark fantasy is fair to say, but it's
all of his. He's forayed into grimdark. He is Prince Grimdark, Lord Grimdark. So no, this is not his first foray into that, but this is kind of like a new direction, a new universe for him to start building from scratch. Yeah, I think I haven't read it yet, but like, how far are you in? What?
I am a fifth of the way through. I'm 20% in. So I just finished part 1, and I got to be honest, I had reservations going into it only because, and maybe it's just a me problem because
after all I told you about Joe Abercrombie,
why would you have like it? But I know that the book is kind of it's the ragtag group that you love, even though they're horrible. It's
tried and true trope, man.
Exactly. So it's almost like as a testament to myself, I go into it like, oh, you got the ragtag group that I'm going to fall in love with. Okay, let's see if I fall in love with it. It took not a lot of time for me to fall in love with them.
I see.
And it was really like, this first 20% was like 15%. Wow, this world is really interesting. Oh, that's a kind of interesting twist. That's not what I expected of a similar species that pops up to other fantasy genres, and they're kind of being used differently. That's kind of cool. Oh, we got another, religious aspect happening here. That's really cool. And I was just paying attention to this for the first 15% because that was what was fun. And the dialogue, of course, was, I was laughing the whole way through, which is rare for me to be laughing at a book like that. And then it was that last 5% to make it to 20 that was like, all right, I love these people. I don't, it happens so quickly.
Yeah. Yes.
Like the entire time I've been reading it, I'm just like, Dad's going to love this. This is.
Oh, are the people like, they don't wear white hats. They don't wear black hats. They're just shades of gray. They're complex. They've got stuff going on, like and the dialogue, the way they, I'm telling you, I knew Abercrombie was going to be your jam.
Is that like it's such an interesting world, the way that everything is built and thought to be believed by the church, and it's presented in a very black and white way that once you start to get to know these characters, it's like, oh, this isn't black and white at all. This is and then you think, well, maybe it's leaning white, or what even is true at this point? Like, are things evil, or are people just kind of crappy sometimes? And there is no true big bad. Again, I'm only 20% of the way through, so I don't know how much I can say that's even correct about what's going to happen in this book. But it's so. But
fascinating. Is it giving you those feelings of, I can't wait to get back? Like, I put the book down because I've got to do some things. And while I'm doing these things, while I'm living life is lifing, it's happening, real world, I'll doom scroll for a while, whatever's going on. I got a real job, real people to deal with. In the back of your mind, when am I going to get to pick up that book again?
Yes. Like, not only was I holding my Kindle up this week while I was cooking dinner, like hot pan in front of me, I'm holding my Kindle reading this book. It's dangerous, don't do that, but that's what I did.
Yeah.
But like I probably, if I didn't get caught up with some other stuff and seeing a lot of friends this weekend, I probably would have been about 30% of the way through instead of 20. Like,
I would think so.
I'm moving way quicker through this book than I usually do. And no audiobook. Like 20% in a busy week is fast for me with no audiobook.
And you're reading, not an audiobook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taking full focus.
If you love the carefully crafted dialogue that has a tempo and a pace that just delivers jokes and lines so perfectly, and it's such an interesting world about what truly is evil, what is not. Is there even good in the world? These different species that are hyped up to be this big bad. And once you get to know somebody that is a part of that species, you start to understand why they are the way that they are. If these are any types of tropes that you're interested in, I couldn't recommend this enough. It's so fun. And I'm sure everybody that loves Joe Abercrombie was going to pick it up without my recommendation, but
oh, I'm sure there's a lot of people just waiting for you to say if it's worthy.
I doubt it.
Yeah. Look, I couldn't be happier for you, man. And as so many things that happen in my life, having you as a son, like you taught me something this week. You're the example for me. And I kind of look to you to kind of pull me to the right side of where I should be. And by the end of the week, I got there because I knew how your week was going with this book.
Well, what happened to your reading week thing? Because it sounds like you had a stumbling block.
No, nothing like that. I just found myself in situations this week. Look, the internet can be a great place too. Let me tell you what happened today. Because hey, we're out there. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky.
Facebook,
Discord. Check the Discord. Oh my God, so many amazing things happening on our Discord, read-alongs and hangouts, and just unbelievable things going on there. As well as if you're interested in being a part of our Patreon book club, that's down there as well. Check out all of that. We're all hanging together. We're all talking about books and art and all types of amazing things. Just had a conversation with some people last night. Just one of the highlights of my week. But hey, this week I'm just checking around the interwebs, And
Yes.
look, friend of the channel, I know you're going to know exactly who I'm talking about when I talk about Esmay.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, a critic for Grimdark Magazine, amazing, thoughtful reader, member of our community. Such an amazing thing she did for us reading our book early on, reading an arc of it early on.
And such a nice review. She's the sweetest.
So I'm on the interwebs today, and what hits me in the face,
Oh,
Esmay
I saw this.
Esmay puts out, now look, this is a critic for Grimdark Magazine that has read 75 books in quarter 1 of 2025. So she puts out, hey, these are the 10 titles so far in the year that, my faves have stuck with me, made me come back to them and think about them. And our little family project was on that list of 10.
So cool.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I mean, first of all, thank you, Esmay.
I mean,
that's so cool to see. Yeah.
Blown away, right?
Absolutely. I can't, it still feels, I feel like we've talked about this before, but I was swiping through there because they posted on Instagram, they swipe through, here's one book and you swipe and here's the next one. And I was swiping through and I was like, oh, that looks like a cool book. That looks cool. That looks cool. Yeah. And then it looks like ours. And I'm like, that's not a real book. That doesn't look real to me. And I swipe right past.
Yeah, that can't be happening.
That can't be true. That's not real.
Yeah. No, that's not. But look, absolutely real.
It
absolutely
is
real, and just like a stunning moment for me, and reminded me of some of the community building that the internet could do today. So hey, there is that. So glad you guys are here with us. So glad you guys are hanging out about some books and everything. I'm going to get to what I read. Before I get to that, let's thank some people that make all this possible. Before we get too much further into this.
Yes, there are many people to thank. So thanks to all of our patrons.
Yeah, thanks to our patrons that keep the lights on and everything going here and make decisions and make our book club magical. All the things that they do, because let's face it, you don't want to leave us in charge.
No, bad.
Let's thank them real quick. We'll be right back. Just a quick break in the action to thank all of our correspondents, directors, and producers on Patreon. These people keep the lights on. They make decisions for us because we don't know what we're doing. We're not great at making the decisions around here. The decisions all the way from what I'm going to read next, what the book club of the month Patreon pick is going to be, but all the way up to video ideas and what we're going to do here on the channel coming up for you. If you're interested or you want to find out how you can be a part of this, right down there in the description box, click the Patreon link. It's got all the answers for you. And once again, thank you to all of these fine people that are helping us build the channel, our correspondents, directors, and producers. Thank you. Look, not possible without you guys.
Oh, no. The book that is on your desk right now would not be possible.
would literally not be possible without, no kidding. Hands down. Okay, so have you read anything else? Did you stray from the Devils, or you're
That's everything
strictly
I did.
into the Devils?
I think it was like on April 1st I started the Devils.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be, I said, I think in the last wrap up we did or something, the next thing I was going to pick up was Shadow of the Torturer, but you convinced me this was the way to start the month. So I
think you'll blow through that quicker. And
I think I will too. I don't think it's going to be 20% every week. I wouldn't be surprised if we came back here next week and I was halfway or more through.
Yeah. I think that's probably going to happen because it's just going to pick up momentum. It's just going to pick up speed. I can't look like I'm so happy for you. It's so exciting for me. I've been telling you long before we started this, how many times have I told you to pick this up or read this? You would really like it. And here we are. It's just, it's such a thrill for me, man. It's such a thrill.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's not just that you would tell me to pick things up and read. And like, once I got out of college and I started getting interested in reading again, I would pick some up. Like you told me to try The Ballad of Black Tom by Victor LaValle. I picked that one up because it was really short.
You did.
Small commitment.
You did.
But now I'm like consistently reading and I can take your advice consistently like that.
Yeah.
It's made such a difference. And my outlook on my days. It's just a nice way to spend time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So well said. So well said. the example right there. Hey, I did get some reading done this week.
Was it more than usual? Was it less than usual?
No, I'm gonna say a little less than usual.
Really?
Because yeah, we left town for a little bit, and sometimes when you're out, you're doing things.
Of course, yeah.
You don't necessarily have the reading time you usually schedule for yourself, so a little bit less. But one thing I did do, I did wrap up the rest of the Daredevil run by Ahmed that I had stacking up, and I had a lot of issues stacked up, and I read 6 of those to edge you out on our bet that we had for last month. But you know what I had? There was another 5 issues there, and it's like, you know what? I just want to keep going on and see where this goes, so I can be current with the run and be wrapped up. Look.
These have not been hitting for you.
Anytime the Blvd's flipping around Hell's Kitchen, I'm cool with. It's just not a run that's just blowing me away. I'm thinking I'm up to issue 18. I'm current with the run. It's not blowing me away. I'm thinking I've probably given it enough of a chance, and I might just cut this out of my box, my subscription box at my fave comic shop, and just move on to maybe some other things that'll hit me a little bit. I'm not saying it's not worthy. It's not fun at all. It's got moments, but it's not one of those runs that's just like blowing my hair back.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair to say, especially when you got the show to watch and it sounds like you're enjoying the show a little more.
Absolutely true. Now, after that, it was time for me to start some of my April reads that we'd set up on our TBR, and some of the things that I'm wrapping up this month.
Yes.
April is about wrapping some things up, so I couldn't think of a better way to start wrapping some things up for the month of April than to wrap up the trilogy of Empire of the Wolf trilogy by Richard Swan and wrap up book 3. Now, I had hoped to be done with this by the time we do Weekly Reader, but look, I have the epilogue left to read.
Oh, wow.
I have the
finish
epilogue
that tonight for sure.
And the acknowledgement page left to read, which I will read before I go to bed, and be completely done and wrapped up with the trilogy.
So you can basically say, how is it?
I can basically say, I'm very comfortable to say, this is one of those that I thought, oh man, this has the potential. This was on that list of, this could very possibly be on my favorite trilogies of all time list, but I haven't read the whole trilogy, hadn't finished it, so I can't really do it yet. So it's kind of like a honorable mention, alternate level. So now I can really say, I think it might make the list. I really do. I really, really enjoyed this. Here's what happens with this. Now, I know this is not, and I've heard some mixed things about book 3, and I can kind of understand. It. In the beginning, in book 1, which starts with Justice of Kings, we are introduced to this world, and we're introduced to what's behind this world. If you pull the tapestry back to the metaphysical, the spiritual, we start to see there's more things going on. There's more things than are dreamt of in your reality here, and there's a whole nother layer to this story. And as we move into book 2, that curtain is drawn back a little bit further, and we start to see more of this reality, more of this spiritual reality that's going on, that's maybe moving some of our characters around as pieces. Maybe they don't quite have the agency they thought they did. Maybe that's more in control, more going on behind the scenes in the spiritual reality than we initially thought. And we started to feel like this bit of a horror aspect starting to creep in, kind of a bit of a cosmic horror aspect creep in. Now, wrapping it up in book 3, we're going to have to go full-blown into this. So, does it cross the finish line? It did for me. I truly liked it. But, here's my caveat. Here's where it kind of had a bit of a problem for me. Is in this fantasy world, we're using cosmic horror, and it's not entirely cosmic horror. By the time we get to the end of book 3, we're starting to see this is not necessarily cosmic horror in that classic way. It's got a dash of it. If we get a mixing bowl, we've got a dash of some cosmic horror, but we also have a dash of something that we're much more, people like me anyway, are much more able to grab onto, and that's using some of the text from the Judeo-Christian tradition. And some of those ideals of heaven, hell, afterlife, some of those things start to work their way in. We're getting a nice dash of, say, something that Arthur Miller worked with in The Crucible, those types of feel. We're getting a kind of like a dash of those high courtroom drama moments like A Few Good Men or Inherit the Wind. There's so much going on here. But when it's relying on, until all these things start to creep in towards the end of book 3, and it's relying just on that cosmic horror feel of we're starting to strip away of all the things that your reality truly is, and you're starting to understand how little bit of control that you have, that tended to not quite work as well for me because of the construct of the fantasy world. This is not my world. This is a completely other fantasy world that has been lovingly constructed by Mr. Richard Swan. And if we add into that cosmic horror that H.P. Lovecraft kind of introduced to us, and we start to strip away, oh, but your ideals of religion, oh, but your ideals of bureaucracy, oh, but your ideals of patriotism, oh, but your ideals of civilization. These are all just silly constructs that you've made for yourself. And what's really going on, it didn't give me the unease because it wasn't my constructs. It wasn't my civilizations. It wasn't my ideals of religion that were getting stripped away and torn asunder as we moved on. It was the empire of the wolf. It was this other world. Now, when he started to add in some of these other dashes of things, it's like, well, it's not truly cosmic horror. We're really looking at a lens taking a lot from the ideals of the Judeo-Christian text and things like that. And we're transporting them to a fantasy world. And we're saying maybe what you understand or what you think of as this high war between good and evil on several different layers of reality, you maybe cannot understand everything that's going on. When it started to segue into that, everything started to click into place for me a little bit more. So where I had the problem of it going full-blown horror by book 3 was a bit of the cosmic horror, the construct of how cosmic horror works, not quite working in a fantasy setting. And then when it started to morph from that into something else, then it started working so well. And it actually accelerated from there. And this is really not spoilers at all. This is kind of like you get an idea of what they're dealing with here. But this is from the beginning. You've started out with this justice who believes in the law, and you believe in the great equalizer of all of us is the law. And then as these 3 books progress, he starts to spiral out of control to save his empire, to save his reality, to save his very ideology of what he believes. How far will he go? How much of the monster, when you look into the pit of monsters, how much of a monster will you become to stop those monsters? This becomes a battle of ideologies. It becomes a cautionary tale about cultive, charismatic personalities and what they can do and how they can stretch and pull apart some of these ideologies that quite possibly have a place and are very, very important to our civilization or this civilization or any civilization. But what can happen to someone when they start to follow these leaders that can start to, just start maybe undoing some of these belief systems fray them along the edges and make them, and then you follow them just long enough to realize, oh my gosh, maybe I've been led down a primrose path here. And then what type of barricades will you set up to stop this from happening? And then so lovingly told by his, what would you call her? Like legal assistant, Helena Sedenka. This is all narrated by her. So you get to see a great man through another's eyes. And this has become another important theme of great men are, or great women are, defined not by themselves, but by others that are cataloging what they're doing through their history, as their moment of destiny requires them to step up for or not. And this is such an amazing idea that Richard Swan uses to a full effect here, is the narrator is this orphan that he's pulled out from the streets and brought along with him and teaching her how to be a justice on her own. And she's finding him not spiraling out of control as he's going on this journey, say, and then maybe losing some of the things that she found such qualities that were so admirable about him. The further she goes, she starts to find out some of these qualities maybe are more comfortable in me. And isn't that the true test of greatness, is how he morphs the people around him and how maybe they're able to stay on this path, even if he is not. And where will they step up to? How important will they become? What are they meant to achieve in this moment of destiny? So I thought there was so many amazing things to examine and explore, and that are important in our time, in our world, in my life. These are things that I look about and think about all the time. And so I just thought it was done so well. The only blemish I would have about it is when, before it moved on to all these other things, which of course Richard Swan had in mind to use all along, before it moved on to those things, I was a little impatient. I was thinking, I'm not quite sure this type of horror is working in this setting for me. And then when it became so much more and something else, which I should have been patient and trusted him, then it kind of all took off for me. So absolutely enjoyed this. Again, all I have left is the epilogue and the acknowledgments page, but this is absolutely, I can understand it's like if people are fantasy fans and not horror fans, this absolutely goes there. This is brutal. It is unflinching, trigger warnings galore, gore laden, not afraid to go with the old splatter to make a point and have an effect here. So if you're not a fan of horror, I understand how, as this trilogy moves on and moves more into the horror type storytelling, that it could maybe lose a couple people. But if you stick with it, I think you'll be happy of where it ends up. If you stick with this journey that Conrad von Volt started in The Justice of Kings, if you stick with it, I think you will be happy. But I can understand how some people have maybe not made it for the whole journey, or not been happy with the whole journey. I personally, very happy with the whole journey.
Wow. So whenever you do update your top 10 for the trilogies, maybe like a 7 or 8, somewhere in that neighborhood?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll have to really look at where my list is and how it fits and what it's going to bump off.
I need an answer right now.
I cannot give you an answer. I cannot. Look, I update these lists once a year. So there's going to be some other trilogies that could get, who knows what could happen.
Sure.
But this would absolutely, it was an honorable mention because I hadn't finished it. Now that I finished it, I got to say, it's absolutely definitely in contention to make that list. Wow. There was so much that worked here. Early on, not quite sure the choice of how he was using it quite worked. By the end, yes, firing on all cylinders absolutely worked, and pulled that trick of me moving through a character journey in those shoes and pushing myself to re-examine a little bit of my own life and ideology, which is such a great thing that art can do. So
yeah, I was going to say that's the best thing an author could possibly hope for the reader. To
high goals.
Yeah.
And I think this absolutely, for me, achieved it.
High praise.
Yeah. Well done, Richard Swan.
Is that everything you read this week?
That's it, man. That's everything I read this week.
Wow. Okay. I was going to make fun of you for talking about it so long, but now I guess the time is warranted.
Yeah, because that's all I got. So coming up next, I'm going to wrap something else up. Oh, this is a biggie.
Okay.
I'm going to wrap up the entire Cosmere. I have one left.
Ooh. Look how pretty that book is.
Isn't that something?
I love it.
By tomorrow, I will finish this before I go to bed tonight. So tomorrow, I will be picking up Sunlit Man by Brandon Sanderson. This is the final book of the Cosmere. I will have entirely caught up my entire Cosmere run before we're back here for Weekly Reader next week.
I have a question for you. Since starting it, this is the longest break you've ever had from one book to another in the Cosmere. Are you itching to
Yeah,
get
because
back?
I was doing one a month.
You're doing one a month, yeah. And I think you maybe skipped a month or something because Robin Hobb kind of overtook your TBR for a while. But this is the longest break you've had between books. You itching to get back to it? How do you feel?
I'm kind of excited to get back to it. Like I was thinking I would do this later in the month, but then I was looking at my stack and I was like, nah, I want to see what this is.
You just want to see what happens, or do you miss the prose?
Yeah, because I don't.
I mean, not the prose, because he's working like prose, but
he's sometimes his prose is quite beautiful, but particularly when Hoyt is speaking. But I think that it's so hard to describe the Cosmere as a creation in its entire. Is so malleable and so responsive to this a kind of mad genius that's he's created this living entity, and he pokes and prods it here and there on these planets and this planet and with this character or that character, and it sends ripples through and it changes this entire amalgam of this living, breathing story creation that he has done in this shared universe of the Cosmere. And I want to get back to it. I want to see how this ripples and affects the rest of it. That's the thrill for me. In the same way, I kind of dig shared universes like DC or Marvel or other things. Like this does that, but in a different way. So it's just that's what's pulling me back is that type of feeling.
Fair enough. I mean, with all the Cosmere ties this one supposedly has, I assume you will not be let down.
I can't wait to find out. And this, if I get back on my speed of reading, I'll probably finish that earlier in the week. And then it's time for we try and do at least one self-pub indie book a month. This month, it is Michael Cronk's book 1 of his series. This is the Immortal Investigations, book 1 by Michael Cronk. Nicest guy, great guy, love his channel. We'll put it right down there. Check it out. So I'm going to start this week as well, because this just sounds like it's just written for me. I love this kind of stuff. So, and if I can just blow through this as well, I think it'll be time for a little bit more One Piece. I'll be up to volume 13.
Man, you've been picking up a lot of these.
Oh, this is fun stuff, dude.
I've been itching to get back to it too, so I don't blame you.
Yeah, so that's maybe what I can get up to by the time we get here next week.
That's a lot in a week.
Yeah, there's nothing really crazy long, so we'll see.
Numerically long.
We'll see. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
We'll see where you are.
Hopefully 50%. That's what I'm shooting for, because I still got to have time for Shadow of the Torturer by the end of the month.
You got it. Yeah, because we're going to get together on that one. You don't want to miss it.
Is there a date on that yet? Do we know?
I'm not sure, but maybe as soon as I know, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Hey, here we go. Okay. You know what happened last week on the channel? Do you remember?
Ooh. There was the monthly wrap-up. I remember all of them.
It's the first week of the month.
There was the monthly wrap-up, I remember.
Yeah.
And then there was a book haul.
There you go. There you go. And you had quite the haul. And you were right there. You almost beat me in our bet.
I was one book away.
You were one away. You were one read away. You had 13 for the month. I had 14. I edged you out with 1. So this leads me to ask, have you picked out and ordered your Cornell Woolrich read that you have to fit in?
I'll be honest, dude, I forgot.
Well, you better get on it, man.
First of all, I'm going to have to find a time when I can. What's my... I got a paper here. What's my read for next month? I've already forgotten.
See, you're not good at...
Well, hold on. We might be in luck here, because I think by the end of April, if I can get through the Devils and finish Shadow of the Torturer,
you could fit something in.
I could fit something in, because May was just going to be a mad dash of One Piece from volume 1 trying to get to volume 9. So listen.
Do
you have a recommendation of what one I should get?
Cornell Woolrich, they're not crazy long.
Well, you've read Cornell Woolrich before, so give me a recommendation.
We'll pick something.
Okay, something short, preferably.
I'll take care.
That'd be nice.
Well,
but we also have to make time
crazy.
for you and I wanted to do book club with the son, or we got to come up with a catchier name than that. But you wanted to do
we
Ray
absolutely have to come up with a catchier name. We'll have to come up with some. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
That definitely has to happen.
You wanted
Maybe
to do
it'll be Cornell Woolridge.
Maybe we will. You'll have to pick one that you've read before then, unless you want to add
I
something
could
to your
reread
TBR.
some. I could read something again, maybe, or
Fair enough.
maybe. I don't know. We'll talk about. We'll figure that out for sure.
Work it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Now, what's coming next week? You're at the production meeting. Let the people know.
And I don't know. I have no
You
idea
were
what's going on.
there. I even saw you.
Bring up pastries, I swear to God, there were no pastries.
No, there was
This is lies?
we did. There was more Dr. Pepper Peeps there. We had a lot of.
Nobody showed up.
We had some great treats. We had great treats. I think a whole basket full of Little Debbie's. There was Star Crunches. There was zebra
Nobody
cakes.
remembers what Star Crunches are.
Hey, come on, everyone knows what Star Crunches. There was a whole basket full of someone. Yeah, our legal team brought a whole basket of Little Debbie's, assorted Little Debbie's.
Right now, there are a lot of 70s and 80s kids in our Discord going, I got a Star Crunch yesterday.
I think I had one last week.
Did you really? You got to let those go, man. What happened at the production meeting? What did I miss?
Okay, this is what's coming up this week. This week just came out. Everyone votes on Reddit what their favorite fantasy series of all time is.
Oh, yes.
This just came out. I haven't looked at it. You're going to pull it up and we're going to go over the top 10, 15, 20. Haven't really decided yet. And we're going to see if it blows up my team. I will say this right now. If something's in the top 10 that I have yet to start or read, I'm going to squeeze it in somehow within the next month or two, regardless of what my TBR says.
I love it. We should make it like a guessing game. You have to guess number 1 through 10 what they are, and if you get it wrong, there's some type of small punishment.
But no, so you're just all about the punishment.
I virtually shoot you with a Nerf dart.
No, stop it. We're not there.
At the camera.
No. You would drive all the way over here if we were doing the Nerf darts.
Absolutely, I would. I would make the time.
But we're going to take a look at the top list of all-time favorite fantasy series that everyone vote for on Reddit. We're going to take a look at those. It might, if there's something I haven't started, it's going to blow up my TBR. Maybe it'll blow up your TBR.
It might. There might be a little space in there somewhere for it. We can work it out.
So we're going to look at that, and then this is exciting.
What is
the other thing that we're going to do this week is we are going to talk to Ms. Shauna Lawless, the writer of the Gale Song trilogy. I have read book 1 of this trilogy, Children of Gods and Fighting Men. I had the best time with it. It was so amazing, and I cannot wait to talk to Shauna Lawless about all about it and about what I can expect in the next 2 coming my way. And that conversation with Shauna Lawless will be out this week.
I have a prediction that this is going to be an hour and a half of you and Shauna Lawless both geeking out about Gaelic mythology.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Yeah. And you'll love every moment.
I mean, that's the odds are extremely high.
I'm looking forward to that.
Of that.
That'll be a cool
It's going to be, I can't wait. She's so nice to come on and talk with us. So I cannot wait for that. That seems to be an amazing thing just in the wings waiting to happen. And I'm so excited that she agreed to come on. And that'll be it. That'll be another big week for us.
Very big week. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
I'm involved with half of it. And I don't even have to do anything for that one.
Well, you've got to pull it up on your screen because I can't see it.
Yeah, but that's just operating the tech. That's a given for every episode.
Well,
someone has to do it.
Maybe I'll be here with a Star Crunch.
Yeah. Maybe that's the punishment. For every one that you get wrong in 1 through 10, you have to eat another Star Crunch.
No, that's not punishment. I mean, I'll just line up all. Look, I'll line up all my favorite the Swiss cake rolls. I'll line them all up. I'll line all my favorites up. The zebra cakes. I'll get a whole basket going.
Can we bring some more Dr. Pepper Peeps in? Is that the punishment?
Oh God, no! I can't do that. That's not going to happen. But I am afraid it might blow up my TBR because I'm pretty sure there's something in that top 10. I bet you at least one.
I bet so. I mean, there's going to be the ones in there. They're the classics. I'm curious to see if all of the reception over Wind and Truth bumped Stormlight Archive down off the number 1 spot?
Was that number 1?
Wasn't
that
it
number
the
1,
year before?
Well, I think on the list it says where they were year before and what they are now.
Okay, so we'll have to see.
So we'll be able to see, but that can't be like Tolkien or something would have been number 1.
I thought it was number 1. Maybe I'm wrong. I could very well be wrong.
We'll find out. We're looking at all that. We'll find out
With a pile of Star Crush, we'll find out.
Yeah. Okay. So, what have you been watching? You watch anything good this week?
I mean, I watched a few things. Amanda and I watched Kill Bill 1 and 2 pretty much back to back, one night after another. I had never seen it before. She had never seen it before. That's just 4 hours of fun right there.
I mean, spending time with Tarantino, there's worse things to do.
There are absolutely worse things to do. 2 kind of threw me for a loop. It's a very different movie. I was not expecting, but I loved it all the more for it. I think it was perfect.
Have you seen all of QT now? Have you seen the whole oeuvre?
No, I have not seen Django.
Django's pretty fun.
And there's another that I haven't seen. Django
Hateful
and
Eight?
I think like 2 other. What did you say?
Hateful Eight?
I have not seen Hateful Eight. Yeah. Django and Hateful Eight, and then there's another like one that people don't talk about as much. I can't remember the name of it that I haven't seen.
Well, I know you've seen Reservoir Dogs and Glorious Bastards.
Reservoir Dogs remains my favorite.
Yeah.
That is the best Tarantino movie.
That might be my favorite as well.
I think it's the best one.
Well, Pulp Fiction that's a tough call, man. There's a lot of great ones.
There's a lot of great ones, but Reservoir Dogs is the best. It's a fact.
All right, so anything else or just QT this week?
Just QT this week, and I mean, we kept watching Abbott Elementary, but that's just kind of our shut the brain off kind of show. I saw the Superman trailer, or the clip. Did you see that?
No, and I'm not gonna. I saw the first clip, I saw the first teaser trailer, and that's enough. It made me run out and buy the shirt. I don't want to see any more. I just want to be there opening day. I don't want to see any more.
I will say one thing. Even though it's James Gunn, there was... I don't think I was expecting as much humor, and I don't know why. Not that it didn't work. I think it worked fairly well, but I don't know why it's not what I was expecting.
If there's humor and it's James Gunn, we got more Guy Gardner in the trailer?
No. I think it's the first, like, it's like a scene. It's like the basically the beginning of the trailer when Superman falls out of the sky and he calls Crypto over to him.
I saw that part.
It's like that extended. It's like the 3 minutes what happens after he falls.
Okay. I'm not watching. I'm not watching it.
Yeah. But more humor than I expected. I liked it. I thought it was good. And then I saw the new trailer for Tron Ares that I don't know whether to be excited for or not. I'm really excited that 9 Inch Nails is doing the soundtrack, and that is about it. Jared Leto stars in it, and if I'm being honest, that makes it a little more...
Hey, that could make it dicey. Yeah,
that could really not go well.
It could be great.
It could be great,
or it could, or not.
We'll see what happens. I'll go watch it either way.
Okay, well, maybe we could do a movie night.
Maybe we could. Yeah. Oh, and then I rewatched the first like 3 or 4 episodes of season 1 of Silo. I think I'm gonna slowly catch up.
I got a little bit further in Silo, not much further because I totally got caught up with Daredevil.
Oh, so tell me how Daredevil's going.
Okay, so it only gets better the further it goes in.
Ooh, okay. I like to hear that.
Yeah. It just gets it. I think they really found what they need to do. They kind of really found their rhythm in their legs the further they get into it. There's like one episode where it's just a great juxtaposition of these 2 men, Wilson Fisk and Matt Murdock, just trying to keep the leash on and keep themselves under control, and it's just not working, and it's just so beautifully done. I really enjoyed it. It just builds up to that episode, and it was so well done. I'm really digging it. I'm having a great time with it.
So are you caught up?
Yeah, I'm totally caught up.
Oh, okay. So now you're waiting week after week for the next
I'm waiting week after week. I think I've got I think there's only like 9 episodes, so I think I've just got two more episodes to go.
Oh, okay. You don't have to wait very long.
Yeah, so it won't be bad. Won't be bad at all. But if you're a Daredevil fan, it's a lot of fun. It's I wasn't all in at the very beginning. I think it gets better as it goes along. Is it perfect? No. Do I have moments where I go, But overall, I'm having a good time.
Would you say it is at least, if not on par, close to the Netflix show?
It's close.
Okay, but not quite.
I'll say it's close. It gets there.
Okay.
I will say at the beginning, not so much, but it does get to the neighborhood of close.
I'm fine with that. I can live with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still got to get your login, but I'm fine with that.
I will talk about that.
And then Silo.
And,
how's Silo going?
You know, Silo's kind of getting slow for me. It's not grabbing me as much as season 1 did.
How far are you into season 2?
I'm about halfway.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
Right at the halfway mark.
Things should kind of start coming together by then, I would assume.
Well, and we'll see. I'll watch another couple and see what happens. But
yeah.
It's like last night I was like, I could watch another episode of Silo, and then I started looking at, but these other shows look really good. Maybe I could try something that I have. And it's like that's not a good sign.
Yeah. And if it's losing you like that.
Yeah. So I'm not saying it's bad. It's quality. Apple only does quality so far that I've seen, but it's just not having that. I want to get back to see what happens or how they adapt that or how they handle that I liked from the books. It's just getting a little bit slower. But I will say Steve Zahn is a national treasure.
What does Steve Zahn do? And see, this is why I got to catch up because I don't know what Steve Zahn does. You got to catch
up. You have to catch up for Steve Zahn. That's worth it.
I love Steve Zahn. You watch anything else?
Steve Zahn's, he's the best. No, that's it for me.
Okay, fair enough.
That's it. So that kind of catches us all up.
I got to get your login for Daredevil now.
Super happy about you and you're reading The Example. How about you? How about you guys? Did you guys keep going on some of those books? Did you keep story in your life? Did you bring some story into your world? Open those books, walk those journeys, those adventures in the protagonist's shoes that open you up to compassion and empathy because of what they're going through. It makes you look at your world a different way. What did you read this week? Hit me up with it. We love comments here. Leave it right down there in a comment. We're going to answer it as quickly as we can because the whole reason we started this channel was to talk back and forth about books, people that love books, the kind of books that we love. And while you're down there, hit that thumbs up button for us. It does everything. It helps us grow a little bit more, helps us get out there to new people. And every new person that comes in, that's a new perspective. That's a new pair of shoes out there walking a life a different way. And when we bring those in and we bring those perspectives of story and how it hits them, that only makes all of us richer and stronger. So that's what we're all about here. And then if maybe this is your first time to see what Weekly Reader is all about, and you haven't hit that subscription button yet, go ahead and hit that subscription button because let me tell you, when you join this group of people, I don't know how to describe them. They're the absolute best. They have brightened my week in innumerable ways so many times. The good, the bad. You know you have a group of people that love art and story and what it means to you to share everything with. And there have been several times this week where I have needed to share that experience with some people like that, and I've known exactly where to reach out and touch them. And that can be a part of your life as well. All it takes is hitting that subscription button. And that pretty much wraps it up for us, right?
I do believe so. I got nothing else.
That's just sad.
Isn't it? Now I got to read more so I can have more to talk about.
Is that what you're doing? Are you reading tonight?
I think I might. Yeah.
Yeah, before bed?
I got to get to 50% before next Sunday.
Oh, man. I can't wait for you to finish this book. I just can't wait.
I can't wait either, just because of how good it is.
I'm telling you, I'm going to say right now, new favorite author. You're going to be like, this is my guy. Really?
I really like Emily St. John Mandel. I don't know if that's a high bar.
Well, you can have more than one fave.
Oh, I thought you were saying fave of all time.
No, I'm saying like in the realm, in the list.
In the realm, yeah, I could definitely see that.
Okay, all right.
I'm
throwing it out there.
It's just one of those books that like I can't wait for you to read it, because it's such a book that like I can see you and I talking about this book for 2 hours.
Let me tell you this, as a filmmaker, you could totally his stuff, like you could totally see this, right?
Dude, like get a Gleason, get a Rockwell to do this as a series. I would soak up every second of it. It would be so good. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna talk. I can't wait. I can't wait. We're gonna read this, then we're gonna maybe we'll have a whole thing about we're knock this whole thing down.
Maybe when it comes out in May, that'll be our book club with the Sun.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that in May. I'll read it, and then we'll both do it, and we can like cast the whole flick.
That'd be so fun.
Yeah,
I'd love to do it. Let's do that. I like that.
All right. We'll pencil that in. See, this is what happens at the production meeting. We just don't have Little Debbie's. Wouldn't this be better with Little Debbie's?
No.
Shut up. Everything's better with Little Debbie's. Thanks so much for joining us here on Talking Story.